Welcome back to Off the Page with Keira. Oh, I like it. I'm liking the name of this vlog. This is going to be so fun. Okay, day 7. Here we are. I am for sure way too tired to make this video. I have taken my bath for the night. I have like a weird infection on my eye. I don't know what the heck is going on. It's fine. I think I got bit and it's like not going well. It's fine. It's fine. So if it looks like I have a black eye, it's not. Tonight is transition night. So every Sunday night is a transition night. It's either a transition from being full-time mom and CEO to only CEO for 7 days. And then next Sunday will be my transition back in to getting my kids back. And transitions are really important for me. They are either a make or break it. If I do not let myself transition, I burn out really easy. So when my children leave, they leave around 6:30. I clean the whole house and then I sit and I watch a show for like 30 minutes and then I take a hot bath. And then I usually go to my, we have a nervous system reset place here in my small farm town. I'm pretty sure God inspired somebody to make this nervous system reset place in a farm town for me. I have literally been going to it for a year and I have been there 4 times when there have been other people. It's literally just mine. It's the best ever. It has a red light sauna. It has salt rooms. It has massage chairs. It has a water bed. It has a red light bed. Anyways, I normally go there. But tonight, I was so tired. And I was like, I just need to go to bed early. Which is still not early because now it's 10 and I was supposed to go to bed by 9. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, today, in a nutshell, real fast, because I'm going to tell a story tonight. Today I got up, I listened to my Joe Dispenza, as I do on Sunday mornings, and I came into my prayer corner. I did some really beautiful work. I do this DNA healing where I take a strand of my DNA within the vision of my mind, and I ask that Christ will pull that DNA out of me, the DNA of an identity or a behavior or a pattern that no longer works for me. And so then I let that leave my body. And then I ask that Christ will actually pull a divine DNA code that matches the frequency of who I'm becoming, of the visions that God has, or I ask it to be the frequency of miracles. And I ask that that DNA code be placed within me. So I do that every morning. And this morning I did some really deep work on that. It was really beautiful. Recorded my daily podcast. If you don't know I have a daily podcast, we have like 325 episodes right now. Go listen to it. I'll link it in the notes here. It's called Sacred Wandering. It's 10 minutes every morning. Heck, you could bookend your days with my podcast in the morning and then off the page vlog at night. Sure. Why not? Then I got up and made breakfast. All the boring things, right? Breakfast, like getting all the laundry. We do like 7 loads of laundry on Sunday because they need all their clothes clean before they go to their dad's house. And then when they come home from their dad's house, they want to wash all their clothes at my house. So Sundays are like laundromat system. It's always very intense. Then my daughter decided that she really wanted to do my makeup because I had some Facebook ads I needed to make today. And so she is a brilliant makeup artist. Who knew? She's 14, way better than I am. So she did this whole makeup thing. I spent an hour making Facebook ads, writing emails, doing social media. After that hour, I closed it all down, put it away. Super present as a mom. Got to hang out with Jones today and Presley, and I even got my 16-year-old to play a card game with me today. So I feel like I am winning. My oldest is very sick, but he lives in Nashville, so I was able to send him some food. Thank you, DoorDash. Seriously, how did we live before we had DoorDash? So that was the busyness of today. Put down Christmas, winning, that it happened before February. 10 stars there. 10 stars right there. But I want to tell a story, and I think that this is going to be a lot of the rhythm is maybe me showing you the highlights of behind the page, really behind the scenes of running an empire, raising all these people. and staying alive in the midst of all of it. How about that? But it's really bringing back these stories. And I was talking to a friend today, and this story came back to my memory. And I thought, well, this might actually be a perfect story for tonight, since we kind of started last night with a story that happened in 2023. Yes? So at the beginning of 2023, which was right now, 3 years ago, I had this kind of, what do we want to call it? A pull. Like I was going to need to change my name. And I didn't know how I felt about that, because all 5 of my children had the same name as my married name, and I didn't want to be different than them. I wanted to be able to always have the same last name as my children. But it just started to feel like this is what was going to have to happen. And so God gave me that in January to like let it marinate. And I love when God does that, like lets me just like marinate on something, allow me to like let it soak into my body. And then March came, and it was a Monday morning. I had no idea what the date was because, well, I was just deep in life. And all I heard was I was in prayer and God said, Friday, you need to change your name. I was like, Friday? Why Friday? But it was so clear, like God would not put, like when God speaks to me, it is a very clear, it's not audible. It's like a thought that is clean and powerful and strong. That is how I know it's God. If it's a loop that keeps coming in, then I know this is just my mind chatter. These are old patterns. These are old stories. But when God speaks, it's like, shk, and then it's like once, and then it never comes back until another moment of quiet stillness. And so that's how I hear God. So I do not audibly hear God. It is like a thought, a knowing, a piercing to my very soul. And that is what this was. God said, I heard it. You need to go get your name changed on Friday. So I look at my calendar, and I literally like have an hour in my calendar on Friday. And I'm like, how is this even going to work? But I'm going to trust. This is what I heard. So that Friday, I hop in my car. I race down to the place where you get your name changed. And there was only 2 people in line. That was crazy. So I get straight up to the counter. And I'm filling out the paperwork. And as I'm filling out the paperwork to change my name to my maiden name, I sign it. And I realize it's my ex-husband's birthday. And I was like, why did God tell me to come today? And then God said, on the day that he was born, this is the day that Keira Poulsen dies. And then I heard that I was to have a funeral that night for Keira Poulsen. And I felt it like down through the cells of my body. Like this is what needed to happen. And it had to happen on this day for me to have it be so confirmed that it was right for me to change my name. And so that night I got home and I sat and I just wrote out all the qualities of that version of me, Keira Poulsen, who had been this version for 20 years. It was a full identity, like this wife, this personality, this way of being, these fears, these all of this was identified as Keira Poulsen. And so I took all of it, wrote it all down, everything. And then I had a huge bonfire out back in my little fire pit. And I burned all of these pieces in gratitude, though. It wasn't like out of anger or like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. It was like, thank you. Thank you for getting me here. And also, you're not coming along on this journey. Like, we are laying you to rest. And so happened my fish died at the exact same time. So we threw the fish into the fire, and it was just like a full funeral. And I felt it. Like, it was like there was so much symbolism around like the death of Keira Poulsen. And the fish was just kind of like the physical formation of that. Like, there was death that had to happen. And I went to bed that night and asked for Keira Brinton to really be claimed. And from that moment on, I felt different. That the frequency of Keira Brinton, the frequency of this new identity, she just came right on in, and it was like a powerful force of energy and momentum and strength that arrived. And I never looked back. Like, it was a full identity shift. And I tell this story because I could have never come up with this. I would have never been like, ooh, on this day, that's when I should change my name. But God always has seen. God always shows me that everything was perfectly aligned, that God had been planting seeds and things were arranged. And all I had to do was listen and then do. And that's what I have found to be the recipe for every miracle that I've walked through, is that when I ask, I listen, and I do, miracles arrive. And they sometimes are wild, crazy ones, and there's sometimes these small ones where when I heard this and I went and I signed the date and I heard that profound message, I knew that God was speaking to me. And so as you are with me on this journey, my hope is that my stories will plant belief in your heart that God will speak to you. And I want to remind you, and I will remind you all the time, that I am not perfect. All right, I make lots of mistakes. I have made so many mistakes. And God has continued to speak to me. And what I find is that so often when we make mistakes, we do the wrong thing, whatever that even means, right? When we do something that we think we shouldn't do, we stop talking to God, but we register it as God stopped speaking to us because we weren't worthy, we weren't holy, because that's what so many of us were taught. What I have found to be true is that if I continue to ask, even in the midst of my messes, even in the midst of my mistakes, God still speaks to me. And so I hope that as I tell you these stories, that this truth may be planted within your heart, that you will know that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter how many mistakes you've made, God will speak to you if you ask and you listen. And then if you do, you will be in partnership with the divine in a way that you never knew was possible. All right, so let's sleep on that, and I will see you tomorrow.